Okay, episode 1. Today we're joined by reigning Lynn Medallist, current East Fremantle vice captain. He's played over 100 games down at the footy club and also a good personal friend of mine, Jupp. Juppy, thanks for joining us for a chat today, mate. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm excited to be the first person on SNADchat.
I know we're starting at the top, mate. No, I wouldn't have it any other way than getting you on for episode 1. So, mate, obviously you'd have to be living under a pretty heavy rock to not know what's happening at the moment with this whole pandemic situation. So just wanted to see how you're going, mate, what you've been getting up to, how you've been keeping yourself busy, what have you been doing?
Yeah, it's been sort of business as usual, I guess, from my end. Everything but footy's been quite similar. Just at uni still, I've got final year of my construction degree, so I'm doing that online. Working staying the same, so work's been pretty busy, and just trying to stay fit post my second operation on my foot. So a lot of air bite, which is as boring as all hell. Just excited for training which has started back up, and excited to see all my teammates again.
Yeah, cool. You mentioned your second operation on your ankle or on your foot then. Sorry, we'll get to that in a little bit. But uni for you, mate, you mentioned you're doing your construction management, I believe. You're doing honours, so you're not as dumb as you look, are you? You're actually quite switched on, are you?
No, mate, I don't even reckon I look dumb. It's my second degree, so I'm a perennial uni student who's only worked a little bit. So it's about time I knock my second degree off, which is at the end of this year, and then actually get into the real world. Love uni, but excited to, start to earn some serious money.
Yeah, and you're mucking around with the old boy up at Pilbara Construction as well. That's what you're doing in your other time.
Yeah, so old man owns a building company in Headland, where I grew up, and I'm doing a little bit of work from at the moment. And yeah, potentially there's the opportunity to get stuck right in full time at the end of the year.
Yeah, beautiful, mate. Awesome. So we'll go back in time a little bit. So you've grown up in Port Hedland, like you said. You boarded at Wesley College for a few years. How many years did you do in the boarding house at Wesley?
2 years boarder, and then 3 years as a day child.
Yeah, awesome. And then you've ended up as a Shark down at East Freo. So has football always been your number one going through as a little junior athlete? Has footy always been the priority, or have you had other sports or other hobbies that might have taken a backseat to footy at times?
It's funny, like, I guess growing up and in Port Hedland, I was always probably one of the better footballers in Port Hedland, but it's a bit of a reality check when you get to into Perth, into the big city, and everyone's just as good as you were, and you're no longer the big fish in the small pond. You're now the small fish in the big pond. So I was a fat, chubby kid from year 8, 9, and 10, and I wasn't that great at footy. Footy certainly wasn't in the top of my list of things to do. I love my cricket, but I probably didn't envisage I'd be, an elite sportsman or a semi-professional sportsman at that point in my life. And then one day I just grew a little bit and got a little bit thinner and started to look out what I ate, as opposed to spending $30 down at Easy Way every second day as a boarder. And East Fremantle offered me a 16 spot, and I've never looked back. I've been at the club ever since, and that was in probably 2009.
Beautiful. But you did mention that you were a keen cricketer, and you do let people know that too. You do let people know that you took a fair amount of wickets in your year 12 year.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate more on that, please?
Yeah, I was a superstar, mate. To put it simply, probably could have made it if I had stuck to cricket.
And yes, all the time.
PSA cricket, there's the Darlow competition, which is essentially just a competition against all the private schools. Was a bit of a battler of a cricketer all my life, and then found myself in the first 11 and somehow managed to take the most wickets in that year group. So I thought I was hot shit, and I let everyone know about it because what's the point of doing something like that and not being able to boast about it?
No, I agree. I totally agree. And you do let everyone know about it still. So you definitely ride that, and it grows legs every time I hear the story too. So
extra couple of wickets every year.
goes from 15 to 20 pretty quickly. So you've now played over 100 games. So you cracked the 100-game mark in 2019, earlier on in the year. And from that, individually, obviously as a team, it wasn't a great year. We improved on the previous year and we're still building as a club. But individually, you had a pretty good year, and you topped it off by winning the 2019 Lynn Medal. So what changed last year? Because you're obviously a pretty handy player anyway. But last year you found a way to take your game to another level. Did you change anything? What was the difference? Was it mindset? How did you go about it?
Yeah, it's probably mindset, and I changed a lot in a lot of different areas. Bill put a lot of faith into me early on, and I ran with that. I got a lot fitter. Well, not a lot fitter. I've always been a fairly fit athlete, but I probably did a little bit more work on my conditioning during the season. So I maintained my fitness, and I reckon probably the biggest change was just my confidence levels.
Yep.
I was getting rewarded obviously by the coaching staff every week, just playing good footy, and I was being rewarded. So you just start to grow another leg when you get this positive reinforcement, and it just instilled so much confidence in me. And I started to believe that I was the best player on the park every week, every time I went out there. I started to actually genuinely believe that I was better than my opponent. And with that kind of confidence comes, I guess, a little bit more, you get a little freer to play your way. And that was for me, intercept marking and running off my opponent and just taking the game on. And it all just culminated to what was a very good year for me personally.
Yeah, I think from my point of view, watching from afar last year, from the stands, it certainly looked like, from the previous year, you took your game to another level. And it was quite pleasing to see it. And so I guess from that, Lynn Medal night itself would have been pretty surreal to have that thing wrapped around your neck, with some of the names that have been able to take that out in previous years and in the past. So how was the actual night itself?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It was honestly, like, at the time, I suppose to me, it's almost like the pinnacle of what I think I'll be able to achieve as a footballer. I know my ability, and I'm probably just not good enough to make it to the next level. So I'm content in the WAFL being the top of my game, and to be able to be crowned as the best WAFL footballer at my footy club that year, it was honestly surreal, mate, because it's just a lot of hard work has gone into me becoming the footballer I am. And like, you don't really see that on those nights, but like, I've been slaving away at that footy club for 10, 11, 12 years. Like, it's not an overnight success. It wasn't like one thing that I changed. I just worked really hard, and it was just nice to get some reward for that.
Yeah.
And it was obviously good to bring my new girlfriend along, and she thinks I'm the champ as well. So that was a bit of a win on that front. So
yeah. The beautiful Lizzy scrubbed up very well that night, better than you did. And your actual housemate Cam Erdley, he was telling me that you actually wore the Lynn to bed for about 2 or 3 nights post the actual Lynn Medal night itself. So that's probably extreme.
Wore it around the house, mate, and fair enough. Hey, you only win 1 or 2 in your life, so you might as well celebrate it. And made sure I wore it around and showed everyone, and it's currently framed above where I work. I probably should have got it out and wore it on air. So
I wish you did.
I'll send you a photo a bit later of me wearing it. I know I send one to you almost every second day.
Yeah, I get it a lot. I don't need another one. That's okay, mate. Anyway, moving to 2020 season for the footy club, mate. There's obviously the club released a GoFundMe page probably about a week ago now. I think we're up to nearly 50% of what the club's aiming for. We're aiming to raise about $100,000, and we're pushing about the 50% mark. In terms of season 2020, we're hoping to get started, within the next month or two. The boys are back training starting this week in small groups. What do fans, or what would fans have to look forward to in 2020? Is there a few young fellas coming through? Are we looking to improve? We're certainly looking to improve, but do you think we're on the right track to be cracking a final spot this year?
Yeah, I reckon, I guess, in terms of an Eastern Mantle perspective, what fans can look forward to is we're going to be a lot better, a lot more improved. It's as simple as that. We've got another year under Bill, and we're just going to be a better team altogether. We'll be more successful, and we're going to win more games. So finals is what we're publicly saying that we want to make, and that's what we believe we can do. So as you well know, internally we believe we're finals, worthy.
Yep.
And once you make the finals, you have every chance to make the big dance. And once you're in the big dance, you have every chance to win it. So I reckon, and I'm hoping that we can win the flag.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely, mate. So, finally, or just before the end of it, I wanted to talk to you about something that I love talking about because it makes me laugh every time. Your old boy Bruce, he's got a bit of an ownership in a horse, Rock on Tommy, and look, he genuinely probably loves that horse more than you.
Yeah, he does.
And certainly a lot of us boys down at the footy club love Rock On more than you two, especially when it gets up and wins us a bit of money. So I just want to know the truth about if he actually does love Rock On more than you.
He does. And here's a hot tip for you, Jordan. It is running. What's the date today? It's the Thursday, the 7th of May, is running this Saturday after its first spell. And it had its trial last Wednesday. And in its trial, it won by 2 or 3 lengths over Humidor, the Group 1 winner, Humidor. So it beat Humidor in its trial. And it's running this Saturday in its first run back from a spell. So I'll be giving the hot tip and we'll be getting on it and backing it. And hopefully it gets up.
So we're putting the house on it.
We're putting the Lynn Medal on it.
I'm putting all my Centrelink payments on it, am I? So
yeah.
Beautiful. Now, mate, well, we're going to finish with a quick 5. So a quick 5 questions I'm going to fire at you. Answer as quickly, honestly as you can. And we'll fire through these quick 5. You ready?
Yep.
All right. First one, best coach and why you've had?
Best coach I've ever had is Gino Stefani. He was my junior coach, and he was my best coach because he trusted me. He put me in a position at fullback, and he used to give me all the praise in the world for being one of the, guys who was happy to play down back at a young age. So he encouraged me to become a defender, and it's made me the footballer I am today.
Awesome, mate. Best game that you've played in, not your best individual game you've played in. I don't want to hear about that. I've heard that enough. But the best game that you've played in.
Oh, easy by far. I've played in one finals win in my life. It was 2014. We played Swans. We were down at 3/4 time by 7 or 8 goals.
Yep.
And we kicked 8 or 9 goals to win by 2 goals in the elimination final. And it was just the best experience I've ever been a part of.
I do remember that. That was a very good game. I think I was in Colts that year. That was a brilliant game to watch. Number 3, is it true that Bill has told you to hand pass the ball every time that you get it and that you are actually not allowed to kick the ball?
Well, that was initially what he told me when he first started out with the club because he thought I was an absolute scrubber and a battler. But I've managed to convince him over the last year that I'm allowed to kick, and he's slowly giving me more license.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. Best operator on footy trips that you have seen?
Jimmy Harold by a country mile. Absolutely hilarious. And just good vibes to be around with. Very, very, very good value. And actually, honourable mention, Joe Heberden. Joe Heberden, honourable mention. Yeah. He's just a weapon.
Yep. I'd agree with the second one, not the first one. And then number 5, last one, your best personal silly Saturday dress up. So you've had a couple of good ones. What is your favourite that you've dressed up in?
Well, the one that got the most acknowledgement was definitely when I went as Pauline Hanson. It was out of the box and it just was a dead ringer. And I think that was probably the best one. My favourite one was the year that Bo Meister cheap shotted me and smacked me in the jaw and broke my jaw. I dressed up as him that year, and I sent him a photo of myself dressed up as him with knuckle dusters on one hand and the JUPP on the other. And I sent him the photo, and he didn't reply. But I had a few mates at Claremont who said he had a good old chuckle at that, and they all thought it was very funny. So
yeah,
I thought that was probably my best.
The Pauline one, that was a dead ringer because you do look a lot like Pauline. So
it's fine.
No, mate. Well, thanks again, mate, for having a chat with us. Really appreciate it. It was good to get a little insight about what you're up to, and we've come through the ranks and obviously topping it off last year with the Lynn. So thanks a lot, mate. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully we see you out in the field in 2020 and get that foot right. So thanks, mate.
Thanks, Nads.
Okay, now I've got to learn how to stop.